Okay, so we are going to begin building coils on top of here. I'm going to show you a couple ways to do this. I'm not going to build my entire piece right now, but just enough so you guys can get started. So once again, we will start by creating a coil. Okay, so now you can see that I have a few coils rolled out. They're all about the same thickness, a little bit different lengths, which is fine. Okay, so it's always good to kind of start out with a few before you get going. Okay, so now we have to slip and score as we attach these. So it's really important. This doesn't have to take a long time, but it is important that you're doing this. So I'm going to score just by creating those lines on here and then on the coil. So I'm going to start by using my longer coil, and anywhere that this is, I'm just going to scratch the surface here. Okay, so then take a little bit of slip and notice that I am just dabbing along and I'm not wiping because I don't want to remove those lines. You notice that this slip is a little bit lighter. If it is, it's not a big deal. It will all dry the same color. Okay, so now I'm gonna do that same thing to the coil, adding the slip. So now it's really, really important when I apply this that I actually press this part to where I am wrapping that coil around, okay? So then when I come over to this section, I have to score this top part of the coil again, add slip, and continue to press it up, okay? So now you're just going to continue building on top. So obviously I need this to be a little bit more even. Maybe I add the next coil, but I'd have to slip and score, okay, as I continue to bring this up. So the purpose of this is to help us figure out, okay, where is the shape that I need to build out to? So if you want it to start slightly going out, what you're going to do is, instead of placing the coils straight on top of each other, just stacking them, what you will do is you're going to start putting them a little bit out on the outside. And what that's going to help do is it's going to start making it go out. But you want to do this gradually, okay? So like, I'm not going to slip and score right now just for the sake of time, but anytime you add clay coils, you need to make sure that you are slipping and scoring, okay? So if I just want to do that gradually, I begin wrapping and it will go just out a little bit. Okay, so now we can see here, I got to even this up, but we can see that it's starting to kind of go out. Okay, now it's not quite the shape that I'm going for yet, so I'm going to have to work on that a little bit. Okay, now let's say you want it to go more narrow. Okay, so if you want it to go more narrow, what you're going to do instead is you're going to put it on the inside a little bit. Instead of stacking right on top or going on the outside, you're going to start putting it inward a little bit. And as you would slip and score and wrap around, it's going to start coming in. Okay, so you probably won't do that until you're further up at the top unless your shape is changing. Okay, so then from here, we practiced making all of those different types of coils with different designs. Now is your opportunity. Some of you are going to smooth this out entirely, which is fine. Okay, but don't forget, you can use some of those designs in there as well. Like, so for instance, if you want to have a row of coils that is made up of swirls, okay, that's fine. You can do that. Now is the time and place for you to do that. So here, you would slip and score this on, maybe create a row there, okay? One thing you do need to do is, as you start to build this up, what you are going to do is you're going to smooth these coils out on the inside. So if you're planning on smoothing the coils out on the outside as well, you will do that. But some of you want your coils to stay, you want to be able to see the design, okay? So You will want to smooth this out as you go. This is gonna make sure that they stay really, really close together. There's no little gaps in there. You can use a variety of tools to do this. You can just use your finger, but basically you'll smooth all this out. Try using the rib tools depending on it, but you've got to do this as you go because as these get taller, you can't get your hand inside of there. Okay, so it's very important that you build this as you go. All right, so as you continue building this up, this little part here will fit in my bin as we begin, but as it gets bigger, it's not going to fit in my bin. So there's a couple of things that we need to know for storage. Okay, so to store this, you will always want to make sure to store it on a stabilizing board, okay? Now, the size of this right now will really fit in anything, but as it gets taller and bigger, it won't. So if you have like a Ziploc bag, you probably want to get one that is not like that because you can see that these kind of just like trash bags will drape over top of it better as it starts standing over. So what you'll do is just put that inside, store it tight, and as they get taller and you can't fit them in your bin, I will show you the alternate place that you put them, okay? Now, after classes, you might have leftover coils. So what you can do with those is come get a little storage container from me, or you might use your extra Ziploc bag. But what you can do is I have these little round containers, and you can just kind of set those coils in there. Anything that you're like, you know what, I don't want to have to remake these for next class. Put the lid on it. If you need to, spritz it a little bit with water if it feels dry. But other than that, make sure it is closed, and then you will just store this container in your bin as well so that you don't have to continue crumpling up those coils, okay? So that is how you will get started.